So I found out about Phil through my cousin who had recently bought and sold a home with him twice over the past several years, and she referred him to me. I was introduced to Kevin by Phil once we started talking about selling our home. So the concerns we had about selling our home were that when we first bought it, we had every intention of remodeling it. We were a little overzealous in our ambitions, and we were really concerned about how well the house would sell in this current market being only half remodeled. Before I had even spoken to Phil, I knew that my cousin had a really great experience with him, and her house sold within hours for way more than she was asking for. So that confidence led to me choosing Phil. When I spoke to him on the phone, I explained our situation and how our house needed work, and he was very understanding. He told me that I'm not the first person to sell a house before we finished it, and we didn't need to worry. He was going to work with us to make sure that we would put in just enough money to get it to go, but not too much money to break the bank. After that, Kevin came out because Kevin was more familiar with the area that we were located in, and Kevin walked through the house and he only pointed out a handful of things, and that was when we decided this was a good company to work with, these are good realtors to work with, and we would continue with the process. Since our previous home had been a remodel project, we knew for our next home, the first thing we wanted to check was that it was turnkey and ready to live in. And this house definitely has that. That's overall the greatest part of the house, is that it was ready to go. But my favorite part of the house is the master suite with the huge bay windows and the walk-in marble tile shower. We found out 4 days before we were set to close on both our old home and this new home that we were buying that the buyer had lost his financing. Before I even had time to panic, Kevin was on the phone with me telling me what was going on, and before I even had time to take a breath, he said, "But don't worry, Phil's gonna buy your house." And I just felt all of the stress melt away immediately, knowing that everything was gonna be okay now that the sale of my home was in good, trustworthy hands. So not only did Phil save the purchase of our new home by buying our existing home, he also made it so seamless, and it was so fast. It was honestly unbelievable. This happened 4 days before we were supposed to close, and we still closed on time. I wouldn't have even known that somebody else was buying my house. There was no repairs that we had to do. There was no last minute scrambling. We just kept working with our title agency and continued the process like nothing had ever happened. It was absolutely seamless, and he really saved the day for us so that we could buy this new house. I would absolutely recommend Kevin and Phil to everybody that I know who may be buying or selling a home. Not only did they do a phenomenal job as a team, but Kevin worked so hard to strategize and help us find a new home, work with us on our existing home. He just led us through the process the whole time and was in communication the entire time, which was really, really important to me. I like to know what's going on, and I like to be prepared. Kevin kept me up to date on everything. Phil was so kind to work with right from the beginning, explaining that we had nothing to worry about and that everything would work out in the end. And in the end, he was the one who saved us and made it work at the end. So they were really great, and I really could not recommend them anymore. I think they were probably the best in the area.